Antigravity plus Google AI Studio. Stay tuned for next week. This tweet is from Logan Kilpatrick, a member of the technical staff and lead on Google AI Studio and the Gemini app. He posted this tweet that could solve one of the biggest pain points in AI development. But to understand why this matters, we need to talk about Google's, let's say call it product strategy challenge. Right now, if you're a developer trying to use Google's AI tools, you're navigating a maze. You got Google AI Studio, a browser-based playground for prototyping with Gemini models, Antigravity, the agent-first IDE that launched in November with Gemini 3, Jules, an asynchronous coding agent for GitHub, Gemini CLI, a terminal-based tool for quick interactions, Firebase Studio, a full cloud IDE with AI built in, Gemini Code Assist, IDE extensions for VS Code and JetBrains. And here's the problem, they all kind of overlap. Developers have been vocal about this. One developer put it bluntly, it's like Google Chat versus Hangouts versus Allo all over again, but for coding tools. The confusion is real. If you want to use Google for AI help with code, which one do you pick? The answer isn't clear, and when you're competing against focused tools like Claude Code or Cursor, that's a problem. So what exactly is Logan teasing? Is what developers are calling the pit stop strategy, and it's actually brilliant. Think of it this way, AI Studio is your design studio, Antigravity is your production floor, and here's the workflow Google is about to unlock. You start in Google AI Studio, the browser playground where you can rapidly test prompts, experiment with different Gemini models, try multimodal inputs, and basically figure out exactly what you want your AI agent to do. You refine your prompt, add a few shot examples, dial in the parameters, all in the comfort of your browser with instant feedback from the latest models. Then, and this is the magic, one-click handoff to Antigravity. Your entire context, prompts, examples, and model parameters get teleported directly into a local Antigravity workspace. Now the agent knows exactly where you left off. There's no context hacks, there's no copying and pasting, and there's no starting from scratch. The agent just picks up where you left off and starts building. It's the difference between explaining a project twice versus having a seamless handoff. And for complex agentic workflows, this is going to be game-changing. Google's been shipping at a breakneck pace, but the lineup has been messy. Developers have legitimately asked, where does Jules fit versus Gemini CLI? Why do we have both Firebase Studio and Antigravity? This integration is Google's answer. They're not consolidating everything into one tool, they're creating a clear vertical stack. AI Studio, the strategy layer, fast, browser-based prototyping and experimentation, or as everyone calls it, vibe coding, and Antigravity, the execution layer, autonomous agents doing the heavy lifting locally. When you combine those two, you get something very powerful. It's actually smart positioning. Instead of trying to be everything to everyone in one tool, they're letting each product excel at its specialty, and here's what makes it powerful. Antigravity isn't just another VS Code plugin, it's built from ground up from the agent-first era. When you're Antigravity, you're not typing code, you're managing a mission control for autonomous agents. You can spawn multiple agents working in parallel, each handling different parts of your code base simultaneously. The combination means you can rapidly prototype in the cloud with AI Studio's instant feedback, then seamlessly deploy to Antigravity's agent orchestration platform for serious development work. Next week, we'll see how exactly this all works out, but if Google pulls this off, they might have just found the formula to turn their fragmentation problem into a competitive advantage. Google's Antigravity plus AI Studio integration transforms prototyping to production workflow from a fragmented mess into something seamlessly, also known as the pit stop strategy. And it could be exactly what developers who love using Google tools need in the agent-first era. Deep Research is now running on GPT 5.2 instead of the older versions, and GPT 5.2 brings some serious upgrades under the hood. 400,000 token context window, which is up from the 128,000 in GPT 5.1, August 2025 knowledge cutoff, so there's more current baseline knowledge now in your research, 30% fewer errors on professional tasks, and stronger long context reasoning, which is crucial for synthesizing research across hundreds of sources. But here's the thing, the model upgrade is actually the least interesting part of this announcement. The real story is in those additional improvements that OpenAI mentioned. The first new capability that is coming is search specific sites. which is huge. You can now tell Deep Research to focus on trusted, authenticated sources. Imagine you're a financial analyst researching the semiconductor industry. Instead of letting the AI scrape the entire web, including SEO spam, outdated blogs, and random forums, you can restrict it to SEC filings, industry trade publications, government regulatory sites, and peer-reviewed journals. You get a model that says search specific sites where you can add domains. The AI will prioritize those sources, but can still do a full web search if you want. This solves one of the biggest complaints about AI research tools. You never know where the information was actually coming from. Now, you can enforce source quality from the start. Second is real-time progress tracking. Deep Research used to disappear into a black box for about 5 to 10 minutes, get a notification when it was done, and hope for the best. Now you get a live sidebar showing what step the AI is currently executing, which sources it's pulling from, and how far along it is in the research process. Also, you now have the ability to do mid-research interruptions. Let's say you ask Deep Research to find the best standing desk from your home office. It starts running, you see it searching ergonomic furniture sites, and then you suddenly remember, oh wait, my ceiling is only 7 feet tall, for example. In the old version, you'd have to cancel, lose all progress, and start from scratch. Now, you hit update in the sidebar, send a message saying actually I have a 7-foot ceiling, and the AI pivots in real time without losing the research it has already done. What OpenAI is doing here is recognizing a fundamental tension in AI research tools. On one hand, you want the AI to work autonomously, that's the whole point. On the other hand, you need transparency and control. Research isn't a vending machine where you put in a query and get out a perfect report. It's an iterative process. You learn things mid-process that change what you're looking for. Google's Notebook LM takes this approach and does it perfectly, I believe. You can do a highly guided source-based research where you upload documents and allow Google to do some deep research online. OpenAI is trying to combat that with this new feature. Perplexity takes another, fast real-time search with instant results but less depth. OpenAI is kind of carving out a middle ground, deep autonomous research, but you're in the driver's seat a little bit more. You set the boundaries, which sites to trust, you monitor their progress, a live sidebar, and you can course correct mid-research updates. But the AI is still doing heavy lifting, synthesizing findings, and producing comprehensive reports. And there's one more thing that's easy to miss. Deep Research can now connect to any MCP server or app. That means you could theoretically have Deep Research pull from your company's internal Notion wikis, private Google Drive documents, Slack conversations, GitHub repositories. So suddenly, this isn't just a web research tool, it's an enterprise knowledge synthesis engine. OpenAI launched Deep Research in 2025 as their first AI agent, but what they're building now is less like an agent and more like a mission control for AI-powered research, something more similar to Notebook LM. You set the parameters, you monitor the mission, you course correct when needed, but you're not doing the grunt work yourself. And with the GPT 5.2 brain powering it, this now becomes a legitimate competitor for AI research tools. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. We do real tests, not just headlines. Make sure you're also subscribed to The World of AI. And don't forget to check out our newsletter for deeper breakdowns you won't see on YouTube. And I'm growing my Twitter following, so make sure you follow me on Twitter as well. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.